Blog Talk Radio.
10 years ago, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire
LCS Hockey.
And we're off. It's Jim Iovino's personal ATM. It is the LCS Hockey Radio Show. Brought to you, as always, by BackpagePress.com and by the #1 hockey site in all the land, LCSHockey.com. LCS, the leper of Internet radio.
You all right?
Oh, hey, Mike Dell, you're there. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was waiting for the monologue, and you just stopped.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. That's it.
Huh.
Monologues
No
done.
more
No
monologues.
more monologues. No.
And that's a permanent decision?
Yeah, you ruined it for everybody. For everybody. Mike.
Now, how did I ruin it for everyone?
With your snarky comments all the time, your holier-than-thou approach to every punchline.
Yeah. God forbid a joke has a punchline.
You sullied every single joke.
Come on, Larry. I know you got some jokes waiting. Let's go.
I know. I'm done. That's it.
But, again, Clay Aiken had to be in the news. So let's go.
No. He really wasn't.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not even a Lindsay Lohan reference.
No. Not at all.
Huh.
Nope.
No Tina Fey bashing.
So the 1 to 2 people out there that actually enjoyed the monologue, it's over for you guys now. And you can thank Mike Dell. Thanks, Mike Dell.
You're welcome, world.
So now, on the big show tonight, Mike Dell, I decide as your punishment that I will shun you and that you have to make me a meatloaf.
All right. And that's the whole show. Me being shunned, 2 hours of me being shunned in preparing a meatloaf.
You don't have to prepare the meatloaf on the show, no.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to go to the kitchen right now and start assembling a meatloaf.
No. I mean, I want you to get to the store and get the proper ingredients.
Yeah, because I want to touch meat, you know.
No, you will touch meat.
That sounds horrible. All right, we do have a big show, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, we have Mike L. Not to be confused with Mike Dell, but Mike L.
Yeah. Mike L.
This sounds like a Letterman bit right here.
Yeah, but it's his stage name. It's not his real name. But, he's a comic book expert. Because I've been looking for a comic book expert to come on the show for years. And I found one. He's a nice fella. And we're going to call him in a minute. And we're going to talk all about the Avengers, Marvel vs. DC, and all kinds of good stuff. It'll be great.
All right.
And then in hour
now,
2...
let me ask you, how involved am I needed in that conversation?
You can't just watch Scott Pilgrim. You have to stay around and listen. Because I'm going to be throwing it to you throughout the conversation, because we're going to be talking Spider-Man, and I know you just saw the Avengers movie, so I know you wanted to talk about it.
I did just see the Avengers movie, yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't really discussed too much about it. We've been saving it for the show, so we'll get into that with Mike. And then in hour 2, we'll talk Stanley Cup Finals, maybe Kid Crosby's new contract, the Mad Men, Adam Rank driving me nuts on Twitter. We'll do all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, Adam Rank, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that. So are we ready to call Mike L., not to be confused with Mike Dell once again?
You have the phone number?
Yeah.
Right,
you have to give me a second.
He's a Canadian kid. He's a good Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Maybe he knows the Ryan.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
Everybody in Canada knows everybody else.
Yeah, there's only 12 people that live up there.
I'm pretty sure. Right.
Are you dialing?
I hit dial. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
It takes longer in Canada.
Hello?
Hello?
Mike.
Hello, this is Mike Dell.
Hey, this is Mike Dell and Larry from the LCS Hockey Radio Show. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Nothing much. Just sitting here enjoying my nightly coffee here.
Oh, nightly coffee. Is that?
Yeah, I like to have coffee at 10 o'clock, so it just keeps me up the rest of the night.
That's good thinking.
So, yeah.
Now, is that
I like to make my life complicated.
Good Canadian coffee?
No, it's just the old regular Starbucks coffee, so I guess it doesn't qualify as Canadian now.
Well, they have Starbucks in it. I thought it was all Tim Hortons up there.
No, it's funny. I'm one of the few here that prefers Starbucks to Tim Hortons. So.
Oh, interesting.
What do I know? Yeah.
Now, Larry, say hi to Mike.
Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Larry?
Hey, just so you know, I'm shunning Mike Dell, but I'm not shunning you on the show this evening. So.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk to me because I make fun of his monologue jokes, and he's very upset. But it's
okay.
Funny. But Mike L. First of all, let me just say I love you run a TV show there called Comic Book Syndicate.
Yes.
And it's based in Canada. You and
yes.
your two buddies.
Yeah.
Danny and George, right?
Yes, Danny Palenka and George Rizak. Yep.
Yeah, and you guys, it started in 2007 on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, it is correct. Yep.
And
about maybe.
How did it progress from there?
Basically, we did about maybe 7 episodes, and then we pitched it to our local cable provider, cable access station, and they liked the idea, and so that was it. We just pretty much right away started on our local station, and then we started submitting it to some Michigan stations, and as well as other smaller cities around Ontario. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, right now, we're hoping to get on to some of the main affiliates in Detroit, but we haven't got there yet. But we're working on it.
You don't want to get into Detroit. It's a filthy, filthy town, really.
Of course, yeah. You know what? I have a special place in my heart for Detroit because I go there so often and I see all the potential, and it's really sad to see the state of affairs that it's in.
Yeah, no one likes. We hate the Detroit Red Wings here.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Don't bring up Detroit. But yeah, Larry. When I found out, Mike, you're from Windsor, Ontario, correct?
Yes, I am, which is right across the river. Yeah, I can see Detroit practically from my house. Yeah.
So Larry, when I found out Mike and the fellows are from Canada, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Because Mike, I've been looking to get a comic book expert on the show for years.
Sure.
Because Larry, he loves. You like comic books, Larry, right?
Yeah, they're all right.
But he's not like you want to classify yourself as an expert, though.
Not even close.
Yeah, no. So it's tough for me to talk comic books with Larry. But we contacted the guy from do you know the website comicvine.com?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes, Comic Vine, yeah, or Comic Vine, whatever. Yeah, I definitely have that. Yeah.
I sent him an email last year, and he gave us the hi-hat. He never even responded.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That was a very nice way of telling our guests that you were our second choice.
Wait, I didn't know you back. Yeah, I just found out about Comic Book Syndicate 3 weeks ago, and it's great. It's glorious. But so that's why I send you an email, bang, right away you respond. That's what I like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I've just got less of a social life than the guy who runs that site, so that's probably it.
But it was great. And so anyway, I'm looking for a comic book expert, and I find out you're from Canada. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect tie-in. You obviously love hockey, and we're a hockey show. And then tell the kids what you told me.
Well, basically, let's put it this way. Relatively speaking, hockey is my favorite sport, but sports only occupy about 0.1% of, my time because I really only watch a hockey game if it's sort of on in the bar or if it's the Stanley Cup final. But to be honest, I haven't really followed it since I was a little kid. So I couldn't even tell you. I have no idea what's going on right now. No clue.
Well, the Kings just won the Stanley Cup.
I believe I saw that on Facebook a couple of days ago. So yes, I did know that. But
yeah, Los Angeles. How does that make you feel as a Canadian
Twitter
that Los Angeles is hoisting the cup?
Yeah, well, it hurts. Let me tell you, it was traumatic when Wayne Gretzky got traded to the Kings. That was pretty traumatic for all Canadians, So I felt the sting there.
You watched hockey as a kid. What was your favorite team when you were a kid? Any favorite players?
My favorite team was Montreal.
All right.
Wow. To be honest, I don't even remember who my favorite player was. To be honest, no, I can't even. But I used to collect the cards, and
some identification. I don't think you're Canadian.
Yeah. No, I'm just, Yeah, I say about. I don't know how that sounds to you guys, but it sounds right to me.
And the next thing you're going to tell me you don't like bacon and maple syrup. Is that?
I do. I love both of those.
All right.
I love. No. That's a myth. No one likes Rush, and no one likes Nickelback. Just so you know, no one likes Nickelback. Actually, some people do.
I saw on your Facebook page you posted a Nickelback thing the other day. It ran in the newspaper, Larry. Did you see it? It was like a picture of a Nickelback concert coming up, and the guy beneath who wrote the article said, you can spend $45 to watch Nickelback, or you can do all these other things with $45. And he just said a bunch of nonsense things you can do with $45. That's pretty.
One of them was buy a jar of pickles, and I said that I would buy the jar of pickles just so I could throw them at Nickelback.
Oh, they are the worst.
Yeah, yes they are. They're Canada's shame.
Right.
Anyway.
The guy has a perm.
I thought the Maple Leafs were Canada's shame. But, all right. Now, how old a man are you, by the way? So this will help us decide.
I appear to be about 15, but I'm actually 35 years old.
You're 35. Yeah. Very good. I'm 37. Larry, you're like 50 now, Larry, right?
Yeah, I'm 50 now, yeah.
Yeah, Larry.
Really?
No, Larry's 39. Larry's 39.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
But he just had a birthday. So we're relatively the same age. So when you were growing up, you would have, Patrick Waugh would have been the guy,
Yeah, he was definitely in there. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, once again, the guy don't like hockey. Stop forcing it on him.
All right. I have to tie everything into hockey, Larry. It's part of our parole. We have to do it. It's part of the show. All right. So you're going to be LCS Hockey's bona fide comic book expert. I can't wait. Now, so you were growing up in the 80s then. What were some of your favorite comic books when you were a kid?
Well, I started out with Superman and Batman like everyone else and Spider-Man. And then, what a surprise, eh? But then it wasn't really until G.I. Joe and Transformers, that's what really got me into buying on a monthly basis. Nice. And then from there...
I actually used to buy those too when I was a kid, G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Me too.
Do you remember that G.I.
Absolutely.
Joe? Larry, you used to get them too?
Yeah. I still have them.
Now, Mike, do you remember that one G.I. Joe issue? I think we mentioned it on the show before, but it was just Snake Eyes, and it was all quiet. No dialogue. Remember that?
It was called Silent Interlude. Yeah.
Nice.
I believe it was number 21, I think. We just did a review of that one on the show just a few weeks ago.
Nice. Yeah, look at that. See,
Isn't
Larry,
there one word at the end or something?
Was there a word at the end?
No, there wasn't. No, there was no words at all. It was just there was a shot of Snake Eyes' shirt torn with the tattoo underneath, and then Storm Shadow's his armband was all unraveled, and he had the same tattoo. So that's where you discovered that there's a connection between the two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Wow. So you're also a G.I. Joe fan. We could talk G.I. Joe. Who was the best G.I. Joe character? Joe.
Character? Well, in the comics, Snake Eyes is my favorite. In the show, it was probably Flint or Duke.
Oh.
So, yeah. The ultimate cool guy, You
like the movie?
Who did you like, Larry? I don't know if I've ever asked you.
I like Gung Ho.
He's about right.
Gung Ho.
Yeah. He's like a Marine.
He was funny.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. So after G.I. Joe and Transformers, then how did you move on in your comic book reading?
I would say I kind of got into more of like the Hulk and Spider-Man. I started following writers around that time, so I got into Peter David, and then with DC, I got into Jim Starlin, who was writing Batman at the time, which would have been pre-Death in the Family era. I don't know if you read Death in the Family.
Yeah.
I'm not a Batman fan, but Larry, you've read that? That's when Robin dies, correct?
Yeah, I have that. Like the when they bound all the issues together, I have that, and I don't have the actual issues.
Sure. Well, if you remember, that was when they actually had the call-in, right? You'd vote to whether or not Robin would die or not.
Yeah, you could vote on Robin's fate.
Yes.
Didn't turn out so
and
good.
Andy Kaufman did that on Saturday Night Live. You could vote in and vote whether he'd ever be on the show again, and people voted that they didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I know where they got it from, eh?
Yeah, probably. Hey. Yeah. So I read Batman as a kid, but I wasn't. I'm a Marvel guy. I like Marvel better than DC. Larry, you're kind of in the middle, right?
Yeah, I like Spider-Man the best, but I like Batman right there too, though.
Interesting. Yeah.
I love them all.
Then you're also I know you want to talk about some independent, because we're going to get into Marvel and DC a little later. But you want to put some light on the independent scene and the independent comics. Did you read any independent creators growing up as well?
It wasn't for independence. I mean, I bought Ninja Turtles by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, but it was more when I got into my late teens that I got into Paul Chadwick with Concrete, and then Mike Allred with Madman, and then Jeff Smith's Bone is another really good one.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you.
I haven't read any of those, but I'm aware of them all.
Okay, and they're all excellent, honestly. Like, and it isn't just. I mean, believe me, I've read my share of independent comics that I find pretentious and just boring. But these are comics that I actually read, that I actually seek out, that I think are really good and deserve some attention. And there's a few and nowadays the indie guys that I read Jeffrey Brown, who does sort of like just slice of life stuff about him and his various girlfriends and just daily life and stuff like that. And he's also done some parodies of Transformers and Star Wars. So he's one of my favorite creators right now. And then basically I kind of I like to follow Top Shelf Comics, which publishes a lot of I don't know, some of the more interesting things. And then Vertigo from DC, they've got a lot of really good creator-owned stuff by, I don't know if you've heard of Jeff Lemire. He's actually from Essex County, where I'm from, and he does a comic called Sweet Tooth. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Sweet Tooth.
No.
Okay.
No,
probably not. Sure, no problem. But this is a guy who came from the underground, and within a couple years, he's writing Animal Man. He's writing Frankenstein. He's writing Justice League Dark for DC. So I mean, this is a guy who grew up sort of in my backyard, and now the guy's a critical darling. So it's just kind of an interesting thing to see.
Yeah, see, I grew up on comics, and I love comics. And my whole life growing up, I wanted to be a comic book illustrator, a penciler. And then till about that last till I was about 18 or 19. No, I was pretty good too. Like art was my background.
Sure.
And then I got into writing and the hockey, and I kind of got away from drawing and stuff. But I still love comics, even though I haven't read them in 10, 12 years or so.
Sure.
But I still love them to death. And anytime something's on involving comic books, I'll always stop and watch and read. So I love hearing all this stuff. And later on, we're getting into some updates on some of my favorite characters and stuff, because I've missed a huge chunk of history with
Sure.
But Larry, is there anything? Oh, I know what I wanted to say about independence and whatnot. Larry, I don't know who published this comic book, but Larry loves Scott Pilgrim, that movie.
Yeah, that is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you love that movie?
I love the comic and I love the movie. Absolutely.
Oh, sweet. See, Mike Dell, I'm not the only person in the world that likes Scott Pilgrim. Now, how many would you say you watch it 2 or 3 times a week?
I'm not quite there, but I did say, when that movie came out, I did say that it will cause a revolution in cinema, which a lot of people kind of made them shake their heads at. But trust me, it is coming. Scott Pilgrim is the wave of the future.
Nice, really. Yeah. How about that, Mike Dell?
Yeah, wave of the future, Larry. You're going to love the future.
Now, how close to the comic or to the movie are the comics? Are they pretty exact?
They're fairly close. I know with the ending, there was, I believe it's the 6th book, which was sort of the ending of the movie. They did change that quite a bit, but it definitely follows the tone of the comic to the letter. Obviously, they have to change some things, but I think they got it pretty close. And I think that Edgar Wright added enough of his own, flair that I just think it makes a great movie. Like I expected the movie to be good, but I think that movie was great.
Oh, it's the best.
So, yeah,
it is the best. I love it.
On Larry's list is Citizen Kane, Scott Pilgrim, 1, 2.
Ghostbusters and Christmas
and
Story.
Ghostbusters. Yeah. But
I'm working on all those.
See? And before we get too far into it, I should remind everyone, go to comicbooksyndicate.com. That's the website. And on the site, you can find you guys got a blog, and you have video clips, and even a couple podcast episodes I saw on there. And how often do you guys do the show?
Oh, well, we shoot once a month, and ideally, what we used to do is shoot every 2 weeks, and then we'd have a new episode every 2 weeks. But now, because we're all so busy, all of the post-production is done by our producer, Jolie Inthavong, and myself. And so it kind of depends on our work schedule. So unfortunately, this year, instead of doing our usual 10 or more episodes, we're only doing 6. And even with that limit, we're still very behind right now. Unfortunately, I'm juggling so many freelance video projects right now that it's really hard to get to the Syndicate, unfortunately. So we're kind of just going to slowly release as much as we can as we go, and then probably towards the end of the summer I'll be able to get back to finishing everything.
Yeah, but people can find the videos on the website and also your Facebook page. They can friend you on the Facebook and like your page, and there's videos on there. And on the Twitters, it's at Comic Syndicate on the Twitters, and people can follow.
Yep. On the Twitters, yep. We tweet.
It's all great stuff. I'm a big fan. And I haven't
Thank
been able
you.
to watch too many. I'm busy myself. But the episodes, I really love it. It's very casual, very funny, and smart. And you're like the reasoned guy of the three, I would say. You're very
sorry? Oh, okay.
Of the three of you guys, I would say you're like the reasoned, level-headed, calm one. Right?
Oh, really? Thank you.
I think so. Like you're the more but like George is a little wacky, right?
Definitely a little wacky. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the one that dressed up like Wonder Woman?
Yes.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, exactly. We're not sure what he puts in his cereal, but yes, he definitely is a wacky fellow.
Yeah, he's wacky.
So,
and then Danny, who you said is the only true hockey fan amongst the three of you.
Yeah.
He seems like he's very hard to impress. Like
I would say yes. He's actually he's probably the most normal of the three of us. Put it that way. He has like the house, the car, the wife, the kids. Everything in his life is completely normal. I cannot say the same for George and myself. So he's probably the most difficult to please because he's sort of so on the straight and narrow. Whereas me and George are sort of we've got our heads half in Krypton and half on Earth. So that's probably why we're more in line with the way comics are right now. So.
Yeah, you guys, we should say you break down on the show. You'll just review specific issues of comic books and comic book topics and stuff, and then you'll give them a rating. And you rate them on a scale of, is it suns, 1 to 5?
Yes, suns, which is, we used to say red suns, which was, Krypton revolves around a red sun, but it was too much of a tongue twister. So now instead of saying stars, we just say suns, It's 5 suns. So,
and it seems like you're the most forgiving of the three when it comes to rating things. You always look for the bright side of something. Like you look beyond the flaws and say, oh, well, this was good. I'm going to give, like encouraging words to the creators and the people who did the. But Danny's always like, I give it 1 star, 2 stars, tops.
It all depends. It all depends on the episode and depends what we're reviewing because, I'd like to say that we're all objective. And we try to be, but I think there's definitely a slant where I'm sure that Danny definitely favors Silver Age, which is 60s comics, and I favor more, and I do favor 60s comics, but I also have like a really deep affection for what's going on right now because I want to see comics grow up and change. I don't want them to be too serious or too realistic, but I definitely want them to evolve. And so I think I'm more forgiving to comics changing than Danny is. Yeah, that could be it.
It's a good balance between the three of you. It works out well.
Sure.
And who was that fellow that was on in the Wonder Woman episode? Was it his name Marshall, the fourth guy, the guest?
Yes,
Is that his name?
Marshall Faucine, yes.
Yes. Now, what's his story? Because he was very funny, and he hated everything.
It's funny because when we have people on the show, the whole idea is we kind of got the idea from Grant Morrison, but he basically said at one point, everybody likes comics, they just don't realize it. You just have to get comics into their hands, right? And so when we have guests on the show, the whole idea is that we give them comics that we just want, we expect to just knock them out of their socks, or is it off their socks or out of their socks? I don't even know. But anyway.
Knock your socks off.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. We want to knock the socks off, right? And so we kind of always, and this is the honest truth, we expect everyone that comes on our show to give just a glowing review to everything we give them. And so we're kind of shocked when people give negative reviews. And so in the case of Marshall, he gave, I believe it was 0 stars to almost every comic we gave him. So that was kind of a shocker. But it did provide a very entertaining episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Because this is the most recent episode, correct? And it was about the reboot. DC's doing a reboot, apparently.
Yeah.
And how would you say that in Canada? Reboot?
We say relaunch. We don't even have the word reboot here.
Yeah. But every book that Marshall guy's like, they need to relaunch this again. They need to stop, throw it away, and relaunch it again. It was very good. But, yeah, so check it out. I tweeted out the link to the review you guys gave of Aquaman.
Oh, great. Okay.
He's one of the characters we always like to make fun of around here. He talks to fish.
Everybody makes fun of Aquaman, and I can't figure out why. I love the guy.
But I think Marshall made a great point on that episode when he said you should keep Aquaman in the water, you know? We don't want to see him on the land. Keep him in the water where he's a ruler and a king and whatever. Like, show us that world. You know, that's a world we can't see.
It's true. You're right. If you're gonna have a character called Aquaman and he's the king of Atlantis, you're right. I'd like to see a good mixture of, you know, a little bit of sword and sorcery and maybe West Wing, right? Like, see some politics or something of him ruling this undersea kingdom. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. All right. So, what else is going on in the comics world? What's the other big news? Green Lantern's gay. I saw that on the headline.
Gay. He was always gay.
Yeah. Well, he was born gay. It wasn't a choice. Let's be clear. But
that's right.
And one thing to clarify that a lot of people don't realize is that when they talk about Green Lantern being gay, they don't mean Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
it's not the Hal.
Very confusing. This gets very good because DC has so many timelines and universes.
Yeah.
So which Green Lantern are we talking about?
Well, to give the, if I can explain this in 140 characters or less, the Alan Scott Green Lantern is the original Green Lantern that was created in 1940, I believe. And then he was forgotten about. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but because when I was a kid, and one of the things I did like about DC, and I would read DC every once in a while, but they used to do, I don't even know what they were called. It was like the early Justice League maybe or something. For the heroes, there's a Green Lantern there who had like a cape and a red outfit.
And that's Alan Scott.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that helmet, right? Those kind of guys. Sandman was in there, that kind of stuff. Remember?
Yeah, basically it's the Justice. That's the Justice Society.
Justice Society.
Yeah.
There it is. So
it's like
who is now gay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's confusing. See, basically what DC did was, and this is the thing about comics, right? Is in all forms of fiction, the reboot is actually a very common thing, right? Like James Bond is in, however, 23 movies, right? And no one ever really questions the fact that he's always the same age, but he's always played by a different actor, Whereas in comics, they kind of just, every few years, they'll sort of just recreate things, and they kind of, like back in those days, kids would read comics and then they grow out of it, and so they really didn't think that anyone would remember the old characters from the 40s until they kind of decided to, as kind of a tribute to the old-time fans, they thought, well, why don't we bring back a couple of these guys? So they brought back the Flash and the Green Lantern, the original versions, and then it became kind of a mess because it'd be like, if you can imagine going to see a James Bond movie and Daniel Craig meeting Sean Connery, it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense that they're the same character. And so they said, well, the reason that they can coexist is because they're from two different parallel worlds, and this Flash started in the 40s, but the other Flash started in the 60s or the 50s. And so then it just became this convoluted mess over the years where, that, like you said, where it's like now you've got two Batmans, two Supermans, two Green Lanterns. And so, as kind of like a tribute to the old-time fans, they keep these characters around. And so now, with DC, they're able to make one of their characters gay, but he's, they can say, well, Green Lantern's gay, but it's not really the real Green Lantern. It's the 1940s Green Lantern, so that's how they can get away with that. So
just that premise is gay.
Yes, maybe, Larry. It might be. But yeah, it's just so confusing and convoluted, like you're saying. I don't know. It's just nuts. But Marvel's doing it too, though, right? They have all these different part of the stuff I missed out on and being away from comics, and they relaunch all their titles over and everything and start them all up.
Yeah, they actually DC kind of did it all at once, whereas Marvel likes to do it every few years, and they don't start things over. They just sort of reboot the numbering, which is I think even worse because it makes it really hard to collect back issues that way. Because if you go through and you want to complete your Punisher collection, you're going through and finding 7 different number ones of 7 different Punisher series, and it's just it's a nightmare. It's one of my biggest pet peeves about comics. But what can you do, right?
Yeah. Now, I just saw something today when I was researching stuff that are they ending Uncanny X-Men, or it ended last year? Is that what happened?
Yes, but it restarted again the next month.
Oh,
so
that's good.
yeah, you didn't miss anything, and that's what I mean. That type of thing is just ridiculous. Actually, if you remember, you probably remember Jim Lee's X-Men, right? Like Chris Claremont and Jim Lee.
That's right when I quit reading. Was right when Jim Lee
was
over the art back in the day. When
sure.
I locked like the Asian assassin lady instead
exactly, yeah.
That's right when I stopped reading.
Well, if you remember, when they relaunched X-Men as a new #1, that was a huge deal back in 1991, I believe it was.
Yes.
But just a year or two ago, they tried to do it again. They came up with a new X-Men #1, and it did nothing because, I think people are really just sort of jaded by the whole thing. You just can't, this stunt doesn't work anymore, and so, yeah, it's just kind of sad. It's just kind of sad that sometimes comics have to kind of stoop to that type of stunt, stoop to those types of stunts,
Let me ask a question here. You were talking about the relaunch of Batman and all that sort of thing. So, are you saying now the new DC Batman isn't Bruce Wayne and that sort of thing?
No.
It's not Bruce Wayne?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What they've done is they're calling it a soft reboot, where some of the characters are continuing on exactly as they were before. So Batman, so Batman and Flash and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman are the exact same characters. You can just pick it up and read any story and understand it. Some of the characters, they are starting over virtually from scratch. And so if you pick up Action Comics starting Superman right now, they're actually in the first year of his career. So you can read Superman and you can see him before he even has his Superman costume, where he's just learning how to use his powers, and he's fighting wife beaters and corrupt corporate CEOs and stuff like that. He can't even fly yet, So it's actually pretty interesting how they're doing it.
I think that's when Superman is actually a good character, like in the old 50s TV show, where he was fighting thugs and crooks, but not super-powered, galactic enemies and stuff. I think the weaker the Superman, the better the Superman in my eyes.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think that could be a reason that they're doing that, is to make him a little bit more down to earth. Because readers nowadays do prefer comics to be more realistic, and that is one way to make him more relatable, is to make him less powerful, right? So I think it works. And I mean, I can tell you right now, if you're going to go into your store and pick up a comic, I recommend Action Comics, because to me, that is one of the best ones right now.
And what's in Action Comics? Is that just Superman, or
That's Superman. Yeah, that's Superman. Yeah, Action Comics #1 in 1938. That was the first appearance of Superman.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was a bunch of different characters that also appeared in their own stories. But over the years, it just became Superman's flagship title. There's also the regular Superman, but Action is the original. So that's sort of the traditional. Yeah.
So there are no support stories in the background with in the back of the issue with Flash or anything else. It's just all Superman all the time.
Yes, it's all. Yeah, it's been all Superman almost from the I would say from the early 40s on. It's been all Superman all the way.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a big summer for the comic books because all the movies coming out. And,
I got
Larry.
a comic question before we start.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Larry.
I want to know what you think of what do you think of nudie comics? I got to ask, Mike.
What are you talking about, Larry? What is a nudie comic, Larry?
They make graphic comic books like that.
And when you say they, who are they, Larry?
I don't know, the government.
Well, do you mean sort of erotica, or do you mean adult comics, or?
Yeah,
I think
pull some of those issues out from under your bed and read the title, so we know what you're talking about.
Well, no, I don't have any per se. I'm just saying, they're always in the back of the comic store, and you got to be 18 to look at them, and that sort of thing. It's usually vampires, but there are always naked ladies and stuff in them. Does the comic
I don't know what to say about those because I definitely think there's a place in adult comics for any type of content. But as far as the kind of smut, that's not really my thing. I don't really like it. But I mean, if people want to publish it, they're free to do so, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that is Larry's thing, and he hopes they keep publishing it. That's
terrible.
All right. Hey, but speaking of comic book stores and stuff, do they still exist? Are they still around and as prevalent as they
Yes.
are?
Yes, they do. It's funny because you said that you stopped reading comics sort of in the early 90s. And a lot... Sure, okay. Well, a lot of
we had like at least 3 comic book stores around here. Now they're all gone.
Okay. You know what? That sounds about right because what happened in the mid-90s was a lot of the stores closed because of the big, there was sort of like a crash in the market. And so a lot of the stores closed. And unfortunately, there's a small fraction of the number of comic stores today that there were back then. But there has been a little bit of an upsurge in sales in the last couple of years, so that is good news.
And speaking of gimmicks and stuff, back in the day there, well, that was right around the time Valiant and Image came out, and there was a big boon, sort of, for comics, and then, yeah, it kind of tanked, right? But the gimmick back then was all those fancy covers. They put, like, die-cast metal covers out and
yeah.
Remember all that? That was
Blood Rain.
Yeah. At least we're beyond that now.
No, Bloodshot. Remember Bloodshot?
Oh, yeah, I remember Bloodshot.
Yeah, I bought like 3 or 4 number ones. I'm like, oh, I'm on the cusp. I'm on the bubble.
Yeah.
Of like
these are going to be worth so much money.
Nobody even knows. I'm so on the inside on this one, and
yeah,
that didn't work out.
I remember when X-Men #1 came out, I bought 10 copies of the first issue.
Now, how much?
But the problem is
these days?
that's worth about 25 cents. Because everybody, it's worthless because everybody bought 10 copies, right?
Now,
so anyone that wants a copy.
Is that worth more?
It's probably a solid $1.25, but
yeah.
So yeah, the problem is, the print run on those is so high that, I mean, they're never going to be worth anything. The only way a comic's can be worth anything is if it's something that is of value, but it's got a low print run, you know? That's what people have to learn. So, like the Death of Superman, that's worthless.
Yeah. Do you personally own any comics that are worth a lot of money, or that you're proud to say, hey, I own that one?
I mean, I had the first appearance of Deadpool, which I just sold recently. It didn't mean anything to me, but it was nice to have. But
what
I don't
was
think
the first appearance. What issue was that? What series?
It was New Mutants number 98. That's the first appearance.
You know what?
Of
I probably have that too then. Yeah.
You probably do, yeah. If you were collecting at that time.
Yeah.
There's also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I used to buy the New Mutants back then. Yeah. I was into all the X books. So yeah.
I bet you've got the first appearance of Gambit then too. That was Uncanny X-Men 266, I think.
Yep, I got that one.
Yeah, there you go. That's a valuable one.
I sold a bunch
valuable,
of my comics
like
over the years.
$8, $9. What's valuable?
And no, how much? Yeah, how much is first Gambit? Just ballpark. How much do you think?
Okay, I'll say ballpark is 80 to 100.
Yeah,
depending on the condition.
It used to be like 40 back in the day. I remember. I sold a bunch of my comics there over the years, but I think some of my favorites that I had the first Elektra and Daredevil 168.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure the issue number, but yeah, I've got that somewhere, I think.
Yeah, 168. And then I had Wolverine when he was on the Hulk, like not the first Wolverine, but like 340 with McFarlane and.
Oh, that was a classic issue. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I have Spider-Man and the early Uncanny X-Men, like with Cyclops and all that. I forget what issue that is. It's like 35 or something of Uncanny X-Men.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah.
And I have some other old Spider-Mans, like he's fighting Electro and Quicksilver. Those are nice.
Oh, yeah.
I got a Richie Rich comic.
Richie Rich in Hot Stuff. Remember that guy, Hot Stuff?
That one is probably, unfortunately, worthless.
Come on.
What about Gru?
Sorry.
How about Gru? I used to have a lot of Gru.
Gru, great comic. It's a great comic.
Yeah.
It's not worth anything. But yeah, it is a good story.
How about Pit?
Sorry.
Remember
Pit? Yeah, another Image comic, Pit.
Yeah, I bought like 8 of
Pit.
those, yeah.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, I thought
Who was the guy? Was that David
Spawn.
Keith? Was that his name?
Yeah.
David Keith.
Which guy?
David Keith. Was that the guy who did Pit?
No, that was Dale Keown. Sam Keith did the Max.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Oh, he knows
Yeah.
his stuff.
Yes, he does.
See, if only I could apply this knowledge to something useful, you know, then I'd actually be somewhere in life. But
We are here. You on fake radio shows like ours.
yes, it's true. We are here. You're right.
Yeah. But all right, so big summer movies though. Spider-Man, the new Batman coming out, and Larry. I saw Avengers several weeks ago, and Larry just saw it this weekend. Mike, did you see the Avengers?
Yes, I did.
And
So opening night.
And what did you think?
I will say that I'm a huge Joss Whedon fan, and I think that he did everything he could with that movie. I think it was hampered by a little bit too much studio interference because I know that Marvel has an agenda with all of their films, and they're sort of
line them all together and stuff.
Yeah, they're always building to the next thing, and I think that did hamper it a little bit. But other than that, I mean, as far as a blockbuster goes, and as far as as far as appealing to the audience, to the people that grew up with these characters, I mean, you really couldn't ask for more. You know, so I did think, as far as entertainment, it was a great movie.
I thought it was pretty much the perfect comic book movie. I thought it was funny, it was smart, it was well paced, just great action start to finish. I loved it. Big fights between major characters, you know.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, what did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't, I'm not a big fan of Captain America. That's one thing. But I mean, Hulk steals the show in this movie. I mean, if not for the Hulk, this movie's not nearly as good. He really makes the movie, and like you said, the movie's funny. I mean, there are a lot of good one-lines and that sort of thing. So, all in all, and it was my first time with the 3D, which I thought was pretty cool. I had never watched 3D before, and I thought it enhanced the movie.
See, you know what's funny is I'm not a fan of 3D, and I actually purposely saw it in 2D, to be honest.
Oh, really?
And yeah. I usually, because to me the increased ticket price is just ridiculous, you know, for the 3D.
Yeah,
so
I
just avoid it if I can.
And you get a headache, basically, is all it is.
Yeah.
Now, Larry, what would you give it 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it a 9.
See, I give it a 10. I think it's perfect for what it is. There's nothing
Mike,
wrong
are you on fire?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually not on fire. I'm actually in my car. I know that that's illegal, but I hope you guys don't mind if I continue to speak while I'm driving. Is that okay with you?
Please be safe. Please.
Yes.
I beg you.
Do you need to go? Are we keeping you from something?
Oh no, not at all. No. I have to drive somewhere by a certain time, but I mean, I'm committed. I'm committed until 10 o'clock. Don't worry about me.
Oh, thanks. That's what I like.
But you know what's funny is if I get into a car accident, the only people that will know are you guys.
Yeah.
So
I
hope you guys are
prepared.
prepared.
Our 12 listeners, they'll also know.
If you guys do call 911, make sure you ask to speak to the Windsor Police Department. So.
Yes, and they'll send someone out on a horse right away.
Is that where they make the
whiskey?
whiskey? Do they make the whiskey there?
They do make some whiskey here, yeah.
Yeah.
They make Canadian Club here.
Oh, there you go.
Well, please be safe. But, we'll there's some other stuff we got to talk about, though. The Avengers, I love the Avengers. Now, are you looking forward to the Batman and the Spider-Man movies?
I am, yes. Spider-Man, to be honest, I'm very skeptical of, and I really didn't like the fact that they rebooted it, and I'm a huge fan of Tobey Maguire. And I think, I think that when those movies came out, like when Spider-Man came out, it was a phenomenon. And, the second one was also good. The third one was obviously disappointing. But the fact that they're just kind of going back and gutting everything is, I don't know, I think it's really detrimental to the character. But I'm still, I'm looking forward to it, but it is kind of sad the way things turned out.
Now, here's something we've debated on the show before, but what do you think is better? Now, I don't even know how they're doing it now in the comics with Spider-Man, but because in the old days, and in this new movie, he's got the web shooters, where he had to make and produce his own web fluid, and he'd run out of fluid. Every time he fought somebody, he ran out of fluid. But in the Tobey Maguire movies, he was more like a mutant kind of, like the web just came right out of his wrists. And that's not the way Stan Lee wrote it originally, but I got to tell you, that was kind of cool. So which do you prefer?
That's a great question because I don't really know. Because the good thing about the web shooters is that it shows that Peter Parker, is is he's sort of a scientific genius, and he was able to invent this web formula himself. I guess the flip side of that is that it's sort of ridiculous that on top of being bitten by a radioactive spider and gaining powers, he also was able to come up with a formula that was able to mimic a spider's webs, right? I guess that's a little bit outlandish.
I think it's better because when he shoots them out of his wrist because, well, it actually makes him a Spider-Man. Otherwise, he could just be Flea Man. Look, I can jump around. And, you know what I mean?
That's a good point, yeah.
What makes him a spider except for him shooting the webs? Otherwise, he can just be Flea Man.
That's a good point. You're right. It's like, for all he knew, he was bitten by a flea or some other, I don't know, insect. It is funny. You're right. It just makes you think of what Stanley was thinking where, Peter Parker got all the powers of a spider except for the ability to shoot webs. It kind of doesn't make sense.
It really makes no sense. I don't know, but anyway, all right.
I will hang up on both of you.
Yeah. Well, since Larry loves Spider-Man, and what's been going on in the last 10, 15 years of Spider-Man, real quick, but I'll just nutshell it for us. But weren't there all kind of nutty stuff about, like, clones and stuff? Like, Peter Parker was a clone, and his parent, like, did that really happen?
Well, the less that's said about that, the better. But,
all right.
But I just heard a message. Did you guys hear that?
No.
What was that? I just heard a fourth voice on the phone.
Was it a British lady?
Was a British lady saying you're now on the host queue?
Yeah, what is that?
It's just a British lady. Don't pay attention.
Okay. Well, I won't ask any questions.
It's my mother. Ignore her.
Okay. So anyway, yeah. So Spider-Man, I mean, to be honest, that's a storyline that it actually kind of helped destroy, the Spider-Man franchise for a solid 5 to 10 years. And it took a long time to recover from it, but like anything, they had to bring the storyline back, which they've just done recently. So it's kind of one of those things that will never go away. But yeah, at one point, they did bring back Peter Parker's clone, and they tried to say that he was the real Peter Parker and that our Peter Parker was the clone, and then they switched it back and blah, blah, blah. And that's actually when I stopped buying Spider-Man.
Stupid. Why do they do stuff like that?
What's going on right now, though, like with the relaunch? Like, who's he fighting? Like, who's the big villain? Have they invented new villains, or is it still like Green Goblin and Venom and them kind of guys?
It's kind of unrecognizable at this point because they've brought back Hobgoblin, but they've killed the original Hobgoblin, replaced him. Norman Osborn is still there. They've brought back Venom, but it's not the Venom that we know. It's actually Flash Thompson as Venom. Yeah, but to be honest, I was buying Spider-Man at that point, but I dropped it about a year ago because of all of this stuff. It just doesn't interest me, and so I dropped it. So I'm not completely up to speed on what's going on with Spider-Man right now.
Hey, speaking of buying comic books, they're like $3.75, $4 a pop now. You know?
Yeah, they are, and
it's how can kids afford to buy comic books now?
Well, that's the funny thing is, they sit there and they wonder why no one's buying them, and they don't look at the most obvious reason. If they went back to printing them on cheaper paper, and I'm sure they could get away with charging a lot less than they do. Because I can barely afford them. How can a kid afford them? I couldn't imagine.
Content. Someone needs to be putting out a 75-cent comic book or something. And
I agree. And, I kind of always thought, even if you're going to publish a nice, slick $4 comic, why can't you come up with a cheaper version maybe a couple of months down the line, Yeah. Right.
But one good thing about comic books, what do you think of all these comic book apps coming out? I think comic books translate to the digital ebook and iPads and everything. It's beautiful reading a comic book. I got some of the free apps, the Marvel, the DC, Comixology or whatever, and they let you sample free issues, and that's the only way I stay in touch with comic books is through that. And I whenever I get a chance, I love looking at some issues on there.
It's funny for me. People have handed me discs. Well, they'll literally say to me, "Here you go. Here's a disc. This has every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man on it." And I will take that and I will throw it, under my bed, and it'll collect dust because unless I'm physically holding the comic, I have no interest in reading it. So that's just me, though.
You got to come on. It's the future. Let's get with it. It's 2012.
Yeah, I know. I'm in some ways I'm still 1980.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey,
You can't teach it. What's that?
One more update on the
Sure.
character before, because I want to do up my top 11 comic book artists before you go. But
Sure, okay.
What about Wolverine? Because I grew up on X-Men. I loved X-Men. And Wolverine, when I left back in the day, he had the metal claws, and the healing factor and everything. Everything was cool. And now I hear that his claws are really bone. What? What's going on?
Yeah. This is true. They kind of made up Wolverine as they went along. He was not invented fully formed. When he first was introduced, I don't even think he was a mutant. And I think the idea was that his claws were in his gloves. And it wasn't until, a couple years into once he joined the X-Men, it was a couple years in that they kind of revealed that his claws actually came out of his skin.
He busted out. They were all imprisoned on a wall, and he busted out, and Banshee's like, "Oh, your claws are part of your arm." Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's definitely it's strange. And so one of the things they did, it might have been in the Weapon X story by Barry Windsor Smith. I'm not sure, but I believe that's where you find out that the claws were already there and they're bone. And now it's kind of just accepted as fact. It's not even questioned now. Yeah, so they are bone. And at one point in the mid-'90s, Magneto pulled all of the adamantium off of his skeleton and left him. And so for a couple of years, Wolverine actually went back to having just the bone claws.
Huh.
And then of course a couple of years after that, he went right back. So everything is status quo now.
And now he's in like every comic imaginable. He's isn't he in the Avengers occasionally? He's in like X-Force and all this other crap.
It's actually it really dilutes the character, but yes, Wolverine is a member of the X-Men, and he's a member of X-Force and the Avengers, and it really, to me, destroys the mystery and the mystique of the character, so I don't think it's a good idea.
Wolverine, an X-Men issue was great when Wolverine was in it, and you're like, oh, I want more Wolverine, but then they came out with his own individual title, and it's been downhill ever since, right?
I agree. Yeah, I think that the moment they brought him out in his own title, it really affected the character. I agree.
All right, well, real quick here, we'll go through my top 11 comic book artists. And now I'm not saying these are the best artists of all time. These are just the 11 that I really liked growing up. And maybe you can update me on what they're doing these days and whatever. Now, Larry, you'll recognize some of these names, hopefully. All right?
Hey, Mike Dell, I got bad news for you, sir.
What's that?
Speaking of comics, real quick, your Marvel Avengers game going down for maintenance overnight, Mike Dell. Not going to be able to play tonight. Yeah,
Mike, I don't know if you're aware of this, but on Facebook they have this Marvel Avengers Alliance game, and I've become addicted.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, you want to hear something bizarre? Not only do I not like hockey, but I do not play video games at all.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, neither do I. I haven't played video games in like 20 years. But I started playing this Marvel Avengers thing on Facebook, and it's
okay.
But I love it. I can't get enough of it. I'm addicted.
Okay.
You basically recruit your heroes, and I'm assembling the X-Men, and it's awesome. I love it. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, it sounds like fun.
Yeah. But we'll talk about it later, because I'm going to be heartbroken if I can't play Avengers later. But anyway, my top 11 comic book artists, an honorable mention. I want to throw Mike Zeck's name out there for honorable mention. Do you remember Mike Zeck? He had Secret Wars.
Oh, Mike Zeck, his Secret Wars #1 cover, his G.I. Joe covers. He's at least the best comic.
G.I. Joe back in the day.
Yeah. Yep. But he's at the very least he's the best cover artist I think I've ever seen. So
I really like his stuff, Mike Zeck. All right, number 11. He did the X-Men in the 90s there, right at the end of when I was reading him. Mark Silvestri. I thought he was, dynamic kind of fellow there. Number 10, what's Silvestri? Is he still penciling and everything? Still involved?
Yeah, actually, Mark Silvestri's drawing the Hulk right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, number 10, I didn't really read this guy too much, but he's a little before my time. But anytime I see his stuff, I always find it fascinating. Jim Steranko from Nick Fury days.
Oh, absolutely. He's actually still around, but he hasn't drawn any comics in about 20 to 30 years. But yeah, he's still around.
He just did a lot of like psychedelic, really innovative stuff, and
absolutely.
No one was like Steranko when what he did, so he was cool. Number 7, I changed the numbers around. Number 9, I have Barry Windsor Smith
Oh, yeah. Genius. He's great.
Now, I think of Barry Windsor Smith, X-Men 205, Uncanny X-Men 205, Wolverine, Lady Deathstrike. That's one of the ones that...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've got that. And then he also did a couple of stories with Forge and Storm together, Life Death 1 and Life Death 2. Yeah, those are great.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Topeka, Kansas.
Barry Windsor Smith?
Yeah, he has a daughter named Tallulah.
How do you know that?
I think he's British, actually, but close.
Larry, how would you even say that? Like what?
I don't know.
All right. Number 8, Walt Simonson. I don't even know if am I pronouncing that correctly? Walt Simonson.
Yeah, I used to say Simonson, but I think it's Simonson.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, he is. I can't remember. I don't remember what he's currently doing, but he's definitely still kicking around. Yeah. But he was a great artist. Yeah, his work on Thor and X Factor, that was great.
X Factor. Yeah, I used to buy X Factor all the time when I was. But yeah, he was finished
Oh.
with Thor. He helped revitalize Thor back then.
Yeah.
Number 7, John Romita Jr.
Oh yeah. John Romita Jr.'s Daredevil run, his Spider-Man run, they're all great. X-Men, he's a great artist. Yeah.
And
And
X-Men during the 190s, early 200s, and then.
Oh yeah.
The cover for X-Men 207 was one of the first books I purchased in the X-Men, with Wolverine and the claws coming down the cover.
Oh, classic, absolute classic cover. And he's actually the co-creator of Kick-Ass.
Ah,
The comic book Kick-Ass. Yep, that's him. Yep.
I had no idea. Now, does he have a son now drawing as well?
Well, no. There's John Romita. That's John Romita Jr. John Romita Sr. is obviously the artist from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And as far as
right?
third generation, I don't know about that. I haven't heard anything about that. No.
Because I could have sworn I saw just a plain John Romita listed. So maybe, and his artwork looked similar but a little different. Maybe he's just progressed and he dropped the junior sometimes. I don't know.
Could be. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Number 6. Now, hopefully, I'll say this guy's name correctly. Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh, Bill. Yes, I believe it's Sienkiewicz. Yeah, something like that. Sienkiewicz. Yeah, he's a great artist and a very nice guy. I actually met him recently. He's really cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he did a lot of Daredevil stuff back in the day. Who else? What else did he do?
He did Elektra Assassin.
Yeah, his stuff is very unique. Like, when you saw Bill Sienkiewicz, you knew that was his style right away. Like, it's just very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's very dynamic. I don't know.
Oh, my
right, number 5 would be Alan Davis.
Oh, great artist, yeah. He did Excalibur, he did Captain Britain.
Yep, Excalibur, Captain Britain. Just very smooth and clean, not a lot of clutter.
You got it.
Love it. Number 4, John Byrne. When I think Uncanny X-Men in their prime, Dark Phoenix Saga, Hellfire Club, I think John Byrne gets time.
Yeah, John. When I was a little kid, John Byrne was my absolute favorite. I bought everything he did. I'm not as big a fan nowadays, but I definitely still like his Uncanny X-Men and his Fantastic Four stuff. It was great.
Number 3, Art Adams. He used to do the occasional X-Men annual back in the day, and he was a good cover artist for him and did a lot of covers. But he kind of brought a whole new life to comic book art when he came in. Just, I don't know, very detailed, very, I don't know, it's just really cool, Art Adams. He walked the line between, super realism and cartoon very well, I think.
You're right, yeah. He's a great artist, and he did those classic X-Men covers.
Yeah, Heroes for Hope. Didn't he do the Heroes for Hope cover?
Yeah, yes he did, yeah.
All right, number 2, David Mazzucchelli.
Yes.
Big fan of the Frank Miller Born Again and David Mazzucchelli. That was probably my favorite comic book art of all time. And,
sure, I am. Yeah, and then also Batman Year One.
Yes, I'm not even familiar with his Batman work, but just from his Daredevil days, again, very clean, very simple, and just a great storyteller. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the era when I was getting out of comics, you had Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, those fellows, Todd McFarlane. All very unique artists, very good artists, but I think they sacrificed storytelling sometimes for image, you know what I mean? And I don't know, just the composition of panels and how to tell a story, David Mazzucchelli's great. And number 1, this guy is similar to Mazzucchelli and Alan Davis, I think, in a lot of ways, Paul Smith from the X-Men. He only did about 1960, or I think issue 165 to 175, I think, was his heyday, and 10 issues. But again, so clean, quiet, just a beautiful artist. I love it. Yeah.
And that's actually my favorite run of Uncanny X-Men is when Paul Smith was on it.
Yeah, just great stuff. The X-Men.
Yep.
All right,
Very
well,
clean.
Mike,
yep.
I can't thank you enough for making the time for us. It flew by. And once again, we've got to tell everybody, go to comicbooksyndicate.com and at Comic Syndicate on the Twitters and like them on the Facebook. And you think the next episode will be out next month, hopefully, for the show?
Let's cross our fingers. I hope so. Yeah. Yep. I mean, in the meantime, we'll be posting interviews and, skits and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll keep everyone occupied until we can post a new episode.
And know that you have fans down here in LCS hockey in the Americas. And know that anytime I have a comic book question, I'm coming to you. And I hope you'll be regular.
I would love to. And if I ever have a hockey question, I will come to you. How's that?
Oh, please do. Please do. It'll be a fair
All right.
All right, Mike. Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate
it. Thanks a lot, guys. Okay. See you later.
There he goes. Mike L. from Comic Book Syndicate. How about that fellow, Larry? What a guy.
Yeah, nice guy. Not Mike L. Mike L.
Yeah, Mike L. It's like, he's like the Bizarro me, Larry,
Yeah. He's probably, normal size, normal height.
Probably
very short.
Regular food.
He's like 5'4".
No, I'm 5'11", but yeah.
You are not 5'11". You are not even close to that.
5'11" with the tape measure, 5'11".
He's he's Canadian. You can tell for sure.
Yeah, he's Canadian. So, but once again, Comic Book Syndicate. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch the show. It's great stuff. Now, because Larry, you watched an episode, right? You saw George dressed as Wonder Woman.
Mhm. Yeah, I watched it. It was good stuff.
Yeah, entertaining.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Larry, I was informed earlier that our buddy the Ed won't be calling tonight.
Why?
He's very busy. No, but it's his birthday tomorrow, so he's probably going out getting a hooker. I think so.
The usual.
Yeah, and but we need to congratulate our buddy the Ed. He is now #1 on Blog Talk and Comedy.
That is just awful news because we're better than the Ed Show, aren't we?
That's not for us to decide. But the Ed is #1 in comedy on Blog Talk.
What number are we?
Well, here's how the ratings go: is they take like the LCS network, all the shows on the network. They just take the highest rated show on the network and they put that in the ratings. So we are not listed because we're.
Oh, so basically what you're saying is between us and the No Name and Vertically Striped Radio and Irv and all that, we have the most ratings of everybody. But since the Ed has the most ratings of any of our shows, they put him as #1. So he's not.
No. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that each show is evaluated on its own individually. So all our listens don't have anything to do with the Ed's listens. But because Ed has the most listens of anyone on our network, they only take his show into consideration.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. I got you.
Now, there are weeks where we beat the Ed in listens. But this week it just happens. I didn't even look at the numbers. But he must have the highest rated show this week, and it's enough to be #1. Because for the longest time, there's a fellow named Dr. Blogenstein or something.
Yeah.
He's always #1. Always #1. And then he just disappeared. We don't know what happened to him. And then some other young fella came in, and he took the #1 thing. His name is Ham or something? I don't know. Not John Ham, some other guy. So the Ed was very upset. He's like, we got to get #1. First, Ed just wanted to beat Bill Cosby. Remember Bill Cosby was always ahead of us?
Jello!
Bill Cosby. But the Ed was very proud and excited that he is now the #1 show on Blog Talk. So congratulations to our buddy Ed Miller.
Yeah, congratulations, especially... and happy birthday, but especially after, did you listen to last week's show, Mike Dell? Because I don't even think you were listening.
Yeah,
it was terrible last week, just terrible.
Apparently that's the highest rated show on Blog Talk.
Yeah, I don't get that, because we were better than that show. He just brought some guy on. He just brought some guy on from Memphis, and he just kept telling the guy, hey, remember this headline from 3 years ago? I was the first one to scoop that story.
And then he basically talked about everything he's talked about every time he's on the show. And I tried to tell him, but during the show, I was doing other stuff. I had things to do, so I wasn't even any care.
Well, he had other things to do as well, and that thing was eat.
Yeah.
Jesus
I told
Christ,
him that you're always outraged when he eats on the show.
Pork chops and potatoes. I can't understand.
I try to tell the Ed, we have a listening audience, and they've all heard these stories millions of times, even if your guest hasn't. So you can't just tell your guest the same stories. Other people are listening.
Yeah.
But he's an old crazy man, and he really doesn't understand.
And
but
he's even
he's
older.
the number one show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
he's 59. Next year he'll be 60. Last year
Yeah.
he was 58.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Ed Show tomorrow, 10 o'clock. It's his birthday show. I'm sure it'll be quite the extravaganza. And Larry, it's also your birthday tomorrow, buddy.
Oh, yeehaw, huh? Yeah.
How about
Thank
that?
you. Yeah, well, hey, Mike Dell, since we're on the air here, I might as well, I want to thank you on the air. I got home from work yesterday, and in my mailbox, a Backpage Press shirt from one Mike Dell. You
That's
sent
right,
me the
for your
Pittsburgh
birthday.
Keystones, like the maroon shirt that has like the A.
That shirt's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And bonus shirt, Mike Dell, Corey sent me the Ultimate Warrior shirt.
We take care of you, Larry.
Yeah, so thank you to Corey, too. So go to Backpage Press and that Keystone, that Pittsburgh Keystone shirt. It's real thin and comfortable, and, like, it's a really cool shade. It's purple, but there's also, like, blue in it a little bit and a little bit of, like, a darker
like a brighter red stuff.
Yeah.
You can't really tell the exact color on the website, but when you get it in person, it's really impressive.
Yeah, it really, there's many colors going on. It looks purple on the site, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, so that's at backpagepress.com. Our buddy Corey. Go support him. And what else, Larry? I guess the Stanley Cup. We should talk about that.
Yeah. Yep. I found out on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was like,
the Kings won 6-1 in Game 6. And if you recall, Larry, at the start of the series, I said I picked the Kings in 6. So look what happened. Bang. Nailed another one.
Wow, you are a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is no off position on the genius switch.
See, you always say that to the Ed, so it really doesn't mean anything anymore.
And then, because remember, Larry, I said, well, I expect, the longer the series goes, the travel's going to add up, and the Kings will have an advantage in Game 6 when they come back to L.A. And you're, like, scoffing at me, like, oh, travel. What's the big deal about travel? Oh, it matters.
Not really.
I think you saw it in Game 6. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I think just New Jersey got in too big of a hole. It was just too big of a hole.
Yeah, Steve Bernier, he boarded the piece. Rob Scuderi hit him from behind, him in the glass. And then everyone wants to blame Bernier for costing them the game. Hey, here's an idea. Kill the penalty. Don't give up 3 power play goals on a 5-minute penalty. That's something else you could try.
Yeah. What are you, the Penguins?
But New Jersey's bitter because right before that call, on that same shift, the refs didn't call, I forget who hit him now. Someone hit Steven Giunta into the boards from behind, and no penalty.
No penalty.
And then, like, 10 seconds later, Scuderi gets hit from behind, and they call a 5-minute major. So just think how different things could have been if they called that first one.
That's true.
That's why there's lots of luck involved in winning a Stanley Cup. It's not just the best team. You got to have things go your way. Well, congratulations to the Kings. And John Quick got the Conn Smythe, a deserving winner. I heard he had the lowest goals against ever in the playoffs or something, 1-4-1. I still would have given it to Dustin Brown because I think going in you knew Jonathan Quick was going to be Jonathan Quick, or you expected him to, and you expected him to be a great goaltender. Dustin Brown, you weren't sure what he was going to deliver, and he just led your team in goals and points, and he scored every big goal when you needed it in the playoffs. He was a dominant physical presence in all 4 rounds. Like, people were forgetting, what happens in the Conn Smythe voting a lot of times is, like, the national media, like the mainstream media votes on it then in the finals, and typically those guys weren't watching the first 2 rounds. They usually only watch the team in the conference finals and the finals. So if you have a strong conference finals and finals, we saw this with Evgeny Malkin the year he won it. He didn't deserve the Conn Smythe that year, but he won it because he was dominant against the Hurricanes and had a strong series against the Wings, so they gave it to him. But I think if you go back in those early 2 rounds, Dustin Brown was the man.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch any, so I can't say for certain.
Yeah, you really have no basis.
I'll take your word for it, though, Michael.
But anyway, it was a good win for the Kings. First Stanley Cup in, 44 years? Is that right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And it's always nice to see Mike Richards could succeed where Gretzky failed. So.
Did you hear the song that Dick Banks had made?
Yeah. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Kopitar. You don't know the difference.
Bandwagon fans. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and the Kings fans, they didn't even know enough to boo Gary Bettman. When Bettman comes out with the Conn Smythe and the Stanley Cup, they didn't even boo him because they have no idea what the hell's going on. Yeah.
Do you know Ryan Owis, or I don't know how you say it?
Yeah, he's on Facebook. He's a buddy of ours on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you see the little video he made where they had the news camera outside talking to the Kings fans? And like the reporter asked this guy, he clearly just kind of drunk and just happy to be on TV. Like, what was the turning point of the playoffs? He's like, it was when that guy, we got like the 3 goals and we won 3-1. That was the turning point. Woo, King!
And that other guy did that thing.
Yeah, it was like that sort of thing,
And that bright light came on behind the glass.
Everybody's just going,
awesome.
we're number 1. Yeah.
Woohoo! And of course, the NHL are going to celebrate by having the Stanley Cup in Los Angeles, a major media market, by once again having a lockout. So, congratulations.
What, the NHL going on a lockout?
In 1994, the Rangers won the Cup. NHL was never more popular. It was more popular than the NBA at the time. It wasn't even close. NHL was the sport. Messier winning the Cup in New York, and they had a lockout, and they ruined it. So now we get the Stanley Cup in Los Angeles, height of popularity, the league's going good, and they will have another lockout. So
why?
There's too much. The players are getting too much money now. I heard today. I don't know. Maybe it was Kornheiser. I heard say it, but the players are supposedly getting 57% of the gross revenue, and that's more than football, basketball, baseball. They don't share anything, but the owners aren't going to go for that. They're going to make the players give up some of that, and the players aren't going to want to, and there's going to be a lockout. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, how long ago was it they just had the lockout? It wasn't that long ago.
2004, right?
Oh, really? It's been that long?
Yeah.
Like, anyways, but, I was like, oh, man, I hope they don't go on the lockout and all that. Like, now, like, if it went away, I don't care.
Yeah, that's all right. I saw the Kid Crosby and the Penguins hoist the cup against the Red Wings. No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I got that.
I saw
Can't take that away from me.
Yeah, you can't take Lemieux back.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm done.
Yeah, we're not going to see hockey for a while, I don't think. I don't think we're going to miss a whole year, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you think they would have learned a lesson from the last time, but no, they don't. They're just all greedy bastards, and they don't. And here's what's going to happen, is the owners are going to say, well, you're getting 50% of the gross revenue. We need to get that closer to equal. And then the players are going to say, no, we're not. You're lying about the numbers. Our numbers say we're not getting that much. You're not telling the truth. And they're just going to go back and forth like that for a while. Then they're going to miss some games. And Donald Fears, now the guy in charge of the NHLPA, that's not good.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever.
What
But, Larry, if we do come back, there's rumors that the Penguins are on the verge of signing Kid Crosby to a 10-year deal worth $90 million.
That's a good solid contract.
They can't sign him yet until July 1st. That's when they can officially re-sign him to an extension. So, would you do that? 10 years, $90 million to Kid Crosby?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, I would too. And people were saying, "Oh, it's risky. It's concussion." Well, yeah, it's risky to sign anyone to that term. And I understand that Crosby, he could he's one hit away from his career possibly ending. But at the same time, Kid Crosby is your franchise. Yeah. He's the face of your franchise. He's what everything you want your team and your players to be. He's a hard worker. He's a good kid. He lives his life the right way. He's one of the all-time great scorers in NHL history. And by taking care of him, you're telling everyone else in your organization, you do the right thing, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And it's because once that goes away, if they try and lowball Kid Crosby or try and stick it to him, it ruins the whole organization. And I'm telling you right now, Lemieux will not do that. Lemieux's going to take care of Crosby, and it's the right thing to do. Even if Crosby doesn't play, I'm sure they'll have some sort of insurance contingency to cover a loss if he suffers another concussion and can't play or whatever. But even if he doesn't play, he's worth $9 million a year just to be part of the organization. And go do things and represent the Penguins. That's fine because it's just the right thing to do, and that's what you want your team to be. Is Kid Crosby, right, Larry?
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? He's a role model.
Exactly. And right now he's making 8.7. So to go up to 9, and these will be his prime years. He's just now getting into his prime. That's a very affordable deal because the maximum contract under the current CBA, guys can make I think around $12 million. Maybe, max.
Yeah, I think it's 12, like that.
And so for him to only make 8.7 is already a nice savings. But if you get him for 9, and you can lock him up for 9 over the next 10 years when the cap will go up, and that highest salary will go up. Like people say, well, the cap's going to go up. Yeah, but that means the every player's salary will just go up the same way.
Yeah.
All that extra money is just going to be eaten up in inflation. But if you can get Crosby for 9 over 10, that's great. I will take that all the time. But Larry, what will you do now though with Malkin and Stahl? Because the big talk, no one even mentions that Malkin might be on the block, but everyone keeps saying that Stahl might be going to Carolina now or something. That they might trade
really
to play with his brother.
Edmonton last time I heard.
So I don't know. Once again, I've said it before, but I would keep Stahl and I would trade Malkin.
I would get rid of Malkin for sure.
Stahl does things that Malkin cannot do. He's never going to score like Malkin, but he'll get you 35 goals, 70 points, and he'll play tough defense, and he's just a big body, and he can be a defensive line shutdown guy. And even if Crosby's hurt, I think you can win playing a defensive system with Stahl as your number one center.
Stahl's a workhorse.
Yeah, he's just a beast, and he's only going to get bigger and better and stronger. And his hand injuries finally seem past, like he's gotten through them. And the other thing is, just look at his playoff performances. He always comes through in the playoffs. Every time he comes through.
He does score, it seems like, at a higher percentile in the playoffs than he does during the regular season. But during the regular season, he's a defensive machine back there.
He's Crosby's Messier. Crosby's Gretzky, Stahl's his Messier. Malkin can go somewhere else and bring in other pieces, save the money. Because Malkin's value will never be higher than it is now. He won the Hart Trophy, scoring title. He just won the World Championships with Russia, and he's the MVP over there. Just won the Best Russian Player Award, the Kharlamov Award. You can get whatever you want for Malkin if you trade him. You'll never get more for him than right now. Now's the time to do it. And then you can sign Stahl. He'll probably sign for. He makes $4 million now. Give him a contract, $6 million a year. I'm sure he'd sign for that to play behind Crosby. And you're in good shape. But trying to keep all three guys, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, I dropped my phone. I didn't know.
Oh, good Lord.
What happened. Yeah. I'm having problems here.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now, if the NHL goes on a lockout and your Kickstarter comes around and you make your goals, what are you going to do? You going to refund everybody?
No, I'll keep covering the NHL.
What are you going to write about, the lockout?
Yeah. I'm no shortage of ideas, Larry. There is no off position on the Genius Switch. Don't worry about that.
Twice with that already?
I want to use it one more time before the end of the show. But I want to put up a new LCS article today, but I'm having issues. It's about the 3-0 playoff series, all the research and the data I've done. But I'm trying to, add another stat to it, and I was trying to confirm the stat and verify it. And it's a lot of math involved, a lot of counting. Yeah. And I keep screwing up because I'm trying to cut corners, Larry. I'm trying to do it the easiest way, and then when I get there and that didn't work out at all. Like I'm coming up with a different number every time. So basically, I want to have to do it the hard way, and I should have just done it that way to begin with, and I'd have been done by now. But no, I have to try and cut corners. Haste makes waste, kids. Do it the right way the first time, and you don't have to worry about it.
You see that?
Yeah.
You're teaching.
So hopefully tomorrow I'll have it up. But it's a nice little story. Just it's a in-depth statistical analysis of every 3-0 playoff series in NHL history. Because the Devils, they're threatening to come back. And you always hear the same stat every time. Well, only 3 teams out of 172 now have ever done it. But that's misleading in many respects. So I'll show why.
Let me ask you this. Any shout-out to Larry in this new article?
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe I will check it out.
And I haven't checked on the Kickstarter project in a while, but we seem to have hit a wall.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, well, no one's talking about it again. So we got hopefully this new article coming out but again, we're trying to raise money. If we can get to $5,000 by July 7th or something, we will have 1 full year of full-time NHL coverage on LCShockey.com. That means Jim Ivino's coming back. It means other writers will be back. I'll be writing stuff 3-5 times a week. It'll be your best place to get hockey news. Full-time coverage of the NHL season if we can get to $5,000. And really, Larry, you add that out over a year, it's like $400 a month. It's not like a job.
That's all. Yeah, that's all.
Well, it's not, but seriously, would you do a job for $400 a month?
Not really.
No one would, but I will. Yeah.
Well, nobody's asking you though. That's the thing.
Well, no one asked me to do anything, but I do.
That's what I'm saying. But you're asking everybody to give you money.
Well, they want to see it. They got to pay for it, because otherwise I'm not going to do it.
What about the Puck Daddy? The Puck Daddy doesn't charge me.
Well, yeah, but Puck Daddy's also a corporate whore. So, what are you going to do?
That's true.
We're an independent, thing. We need to. We're like PBS. and Puck Daddy's like Fox.
I think maybe, if LCS comes back, maybe I'll come back and cover the Florida Panthers for you. Ain't no problem.
I would love that. Yeah. Oh. Larry Farish, Florida Panthers beat writer.
Uh-huh.
Because you know a lot about hockey.
I really do.
And specifically about the Florida Panthers. And you know what people always tell me is they say they hate when Larry eats on the show.
Yeah. Well, hey.
All you do is bitch and complain about the ad, and here you are eating on the show.
If the ad can eat on the show and be number one in Blog Talk, so can Larry. Larry invented this.
What are you eating, Larry?
Grapes.
Grapes?
Grapes.
Well, I'm proud of you. That's good. That's a nice, healthy alternative.
Yes.
Now, since we had my buddy Michigan Frank on the show, have you been taking his advice to heart? Have you been watching your carbohydrate intake and whatnot?
You know, I actually have, like, I haven't dieted, and I'm not on his egg white bullshit or whatever, but I've calmed down. I've toned back a little bit, so,
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. Yes, I was out of control there for a while.
I'm proud of you, Larry. Still drinking the 3 Red Bulls a day?
Just one a day in the morning. I have it in the morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very good.
I'll work it off.
That's when you need to have your carbs, are in the morning. That give you the energy to go. So, right.
Work in a warehouse. It's not like I'm just sitting around all day.
But you sit in the warehouse, right?
No, I don't.
Oh, I thought you still sat at the table. You don't sit at the table anymore?
I stand. I stand while I work.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not scared.
Very good.
Yeah.
Huh. Pretty good. All right, what else is going on in the hockey world? Is that all the big news? I guess the awards banquet will be next week. Then the draft. We were talking about that last week at Jim Ivina. That'll be the 22nd.
You going to that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I bet you don't go.
Yeah, we'll see.
You're not going.
But I'm supposed to see Leahy there, so I'm going to hang out with Leahy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You should tweet a picture.
I'm going to wear jean shorts.
Why would you wear jean shorts?
I think you have to, right?
Doesn't
Puck Daddy insist that everybody who works for him wear jean shorts?
Ay. There's nothing worse than jean shorts. I don't even own any jean shorts.
Yeah. Well, what else are they going to talk about here?
Now, let me ask you this.
Oh, Adam Rank.
Well, hold on. Before the rank. Like, say, for instance, you decide you do go. Some sort of miraculous event occurs in your life, and you're like, yeah, I am going to go to the draft. Do you wear pants or khaki shorts?
Oh, I wear khakis, full-length khakis.
Full-length. Now, what kind of shirt? You just go in regular plain T-shirt, one T-shirt?
No, I'd wear one of the Backpage Press Lemieux shirts just to help spread the word for Corey. Because I know at the Console Energy Center at the draft, people see that 66 shirt, they're going to swoon.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that.
They're going to be like, where'd you get that? I'll hand out little Backpage Press cards. There you go.
Yeah, you got some?
No.
Oh, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got some cards.
Well, maybe I do then. I don't know. I'll have to look. But, yeah, I'll hand them out.
But you'd wear pants?
Yes. Khakis.
And
yeah.
Just one shirt, or would you put the thermal on underneath the Lemieux?
I never go out of the house in just a T-shirt. That's, what am I, a farmer? No, you got to wear 2 shirts.
God damn, so sorry.
Yeah.
All right. All right, now what's going on with the rank?
Rank. Well, congratulations to Rank, that long-suffering Kings fan, because we know he lived and died with the Kings for years. I don't know if you could tell, Larry. That was me rolling my eyes.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I congratulated Rank on the Kings. But he Twittered me today on the direct message. He sent me like 50 direct messages today. And because he said he was out drinking with some former L.A. Kings beat writer. And he said, I can't believe how much you hoodwinked me on the Lemieux-Gretzky debate. I was like, oh, here we go. and I was like, all right, let's go. So we got into it again about Gretzky and Lemieux, and we just been going back and forth. And it's just maddening because it's the same thing every time. I've been in this debate so many times, Larry, and I know exactly how it plays out every time. You know?
That's because it starts out the same time or the same way every time too.
Yeah, but it starts and it ends. I I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
And everyone who's debating me on the subject thinks they're breaking some news story to me that, yeah, Gretzky played more games. Yeah, I know. Thanks. Yeah.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Ziggy! Get off the fucking table. All right.
But yeah, again, the debate, this is the debate. This is what it comes down to in the end. Gretzky played more games. He was healthier. If you think healthier means better, then Gretzky was better. If you think scoring at a greater pace in an era when it was significantly harder to score means better, if you think being the bigger, stronger center iceman means better, Lemieux is better. You decide which one you want. I could give it, I don't care. It doesn't hurt me in any way for someone to say Gretzky's better. That's fine. That's your opinion. But it's my opinion Lemieux's better. Great. Doesn't mean it's true, but that's the debate. That's the facts. That's it. Make your opinion on that. Don't make your opinion on inflated statistics that are nonsensical and because he played, more games. But if you think healthier is better, Gretzky's better. Otherwise, it's Lemieux. That's it. There's nothing more to say. And that's just all there is to it. So you decide what side of the debate you want to be on, and then go with Godspeed, But, yeah. Because then right away he's like, well, don't you think, Gretzky, Lemieux wasn't even playing. You have to be on the ice to help your team. All right, that's fine. Yeah, you think that means you're better. Okay. So then by that rationale, Paul Coffey's better than Bobby Orr. Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's apples and oranges. No. It's not apples and oranges. It's the exact same fucking thing. If you think Gretzky he's the best because he has all these scoring titles and more goals and more points, and he played more games, then obviously Paul Coffey is better than Bobby Orr because he has more goals, more points, more scoring, more times leading defenseman in scoring than Bobby Orr. But but of course, no, it doesn't work that way. All right, so.
Now, how do you have time to debate Adam Rank when you're playing Marvel Avengers? So that's what it is. That's why you're frustrated because it's taken away from you training. She-Hulk.
Well, here's the thing, Larry. I can only play Marvel Avengers so long because then I run out of energy. I'm not spending money, so I just play until the energy's gone and then I walk away.
Yeah. And then how long is it to fill up? Is it 6 hours?
Yeah, here's what I do, Larry. I wake up, I go and I check the Marvel Avengers Alliance. I start training. Got to start training. I send out my dudes on the ships, bring that silver home, and then I play till the energy's gone, then I leave, and then at night I do it all again. Yeah.
So you just go 2 rounds a day?
Yeah, until, unless I level up and then I go again, because your energy refills. But I just go until my energy's gone, yeah. But it's a good time. And I should mention I'm between semesters in school. That's why I have so much free time right now.
And you finished that magazine, you said.
Yes, and I finished the magazine, yeah. But, Marvel Avengers Alliance, Larry, how's it going for you?
It's all right. I'm getting bored.
I'm still loving it. I'm a week into it, and I'm loving it. Loving every minute of it. Yeah.
No, I think you're 2 weeks into it, right?
No, I just started playing right before last week's show. Right? No, maybe it was 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Oh, well,
you're lost in that game, like the Matrix.
Yeah, I've lost all concepts of time. I don't even know what day it is. But so great. I think I'm level 29 now.
Yeah, I think I'm at 39.
And I see we've gotten a few of you kids roped in as well.
Yeah.
Our buddy Lance, Patrick Watkins, Blatzman, who else?
Backpage Press, 18 Alex, Tim Baldwin. Are you friends with Tim Baldwin?
No, I'm not.
You remember Tim Baldwin?
Yeah, from the deck hockey days, yeah.
Yeah. He
Tell him to ally me up.
Mike Roden?
Yeah, Mick Roden, yeah. Yeah, sometimes he's Mike, sometimes he's Mick. Depends where you talk to him, yeah.
No, but, is that Poor Carrot?
No.
No? All right.
No, Poor Carrot. Not to my knowledge. But, so we've gotten a few allies. But once again, if you're on the Spacebook, sign up for Marvel Avengers Alliance, and Larry and I, be our buddies, be our allies.
Yeah.
You don't have to play the game.
No.
Just be our allies. You understand? Because we get free stuff if you're our allies. That's right.
No, I've been playing bingo.
Oh, that's just ridiculous. Why would you play bingo?
B-I-N-G-O. I don't know. Just something
dumb.
It's not dumb. That's the same thing you said about Marvel Avengers. Now all of a sudden
you could be training your heroes. Why are you playing bingo?
I can't train right now. Here's the thing. I'm on level 9 with Iron Man. He's the only one I got that's trainable right at this particular moment. It's going to be 100,000 in silver to train him.
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 in silver.
Holy hell!
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't have that kind of money.
You better be sending out some shits, man. Deployed. Yeah.
I think I'm at 55,000 right now, or something like that.
I only got 20 grand in silver right now.
What do you got in the command points?
About 120, I think.
I think I'm at I'm over 400. I'm at 450.
Yeah, be our friends on Avengers and just send us command points. That's all we want. Just right, Larry? Just command points?
Yeah, well, yeah. No, not command points, shield points.
Yeah, shield points. I'm sorry, shield points. Yeah. They're the hardest things to get, the shield points. You really can only get them from buddies. And you need them to train your heroes and buy weapons and stuff. But I want another weapon. I want some other gun thing.
I want a shotgun today.
Yeah, I have a shotgun. Yeah, I have one of those. Yeah. It's pretty good. But
don't forget, you can play player versus player, too. That's a whole, once your energy runs out, you play. Because you've been doing that, too. You're up over, 4,000. And,
well, I'm at 1,300. I was over 1,300 in the rating. And but apparently, it went down because I guess people were beating me when I'm not there. You know what I mean? I guess your team still...
Oh, really? That counts against you?
I guess, because I was at 300, and now I'm down to 1,290, and I didn't lose to anybody. I haven't lost to someone in that in a very long time. I won 50 something
all the time. I don't know. I'm really bad at this game.
My two top guys are Spider-Man and Cyclops. They're the best team for me, and I got my tactician uniform on my fellow there, and I just dominate everybody. So to make it fun, I just put in random heroes now, and I still dominate. But I guess I left Kitty Pryde and I don't know someone else in there, Nightcrawler or something, and I wasn't paying it. And I guess someone must have beaten me when I'm not around. And my score lowered. It dropped. So, I don't know.
Now, are you, number 1 in the country or anything right now?
No, I think number 1 in the country is, at level 1,900, and I'm at 1,300. So.
God damn. I'm at, I think 900.
Yeah. But, I just tear everybody up. The secret to the PvP, now listen around, my Avenger allies, because I know you're listening. The secret is, you don't want to go in there with a scrapper, because a lot of people will use She-Hulk or a Bruiser, and then the scrapper just gets beat the hell up. You don't want to go in. You want to go in with as many tacticians as possible, I would say, because everyone else always plays blasters with Iron Man, Miss Marvel, and all that. If you go with at least 1 or 2 tacticians, and then I like to have Spider-Man, even though he's an infiltrator, because no one ever uses scrappers. Infiltrators are vulnerable against scrappers, but no one ever uses them. So use at least 1 infiltrator like Spider-Man who can really be defensive and protect everybody, and you just dominate. So, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'm playing it right now.
Ah, so it's back. Oh.
Well, it said 10 o'clock Pacific time, so what's that, 1 a.m.?
Oh, so maintenance isn't going to start until then?
Yeah, it don't start until then.
Ugh.
Yeah, you got nothing to go do.
I got to go. I got to get off the show. Now, you were saying our buddy Lance was asking you who we should recruit next.
Yeah. And I recommended that Iron Fist guy because he's pretty good because he's a scrapper, I think, right?
Yeah, he's a scrapper. Iron Fist is very good. I just trained him to level 6. So I got his healing chi now. He can heal.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Iron Fist is really good, but the best scrapper's Daredevil. Yeah, get Daredevil.
How many's that? He's 45 or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. But yeah, he's really good though. And I think I'm training him right now as we speak to level 6. I think so.
How much does that cost? What kind of?
It's only 2,000. Is he sure it's $100,000 to go to level 9?
$100,000.
That is exorbitant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Daredevil's your best scrapper. If you want a scrapper, get Daredevil. He's the boy. Yep.
Daredevil. All right.
And then the best infiltrator I like is Spider-Man. I think he's the top. So you got to get Spider-Man, Larry.
I need them. I only got. I'm at 49 command points right now, so I still need.
Yeah, I think I'm in the 40s as well in command points. And command points are what you trade in to get the heroes, to recruit the heroes. And I got all the X-Men. Remember, my goal was to recruit all the X-Men. I've got all the X-Men. I got Storm. I forgot I needed Storm last time. I got Storm. I got Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde, Phoenix, Cyclops, Colossus. But I need Wolverine. He's the last guy I need, and he's 90. So I gotta get him.
Mike Dell, I just discovered. Not only do they have Spider-Man, you can get Spider-Man in the black suit.
Yeah, and when he gets the black suit, he's no longer a infiltrator. He's a bruiser.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, bruisers have their benefits, but bruisers are vulnerable to blasters, so that's not good.
Which one's an infiltrator? The boot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can get the black suit in an infiltrator too.
Oh, well then, yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah. The black suit's the best, and it's got like the white squares on the back of the hand, like it should be, Mike Dell. This is the perfect suit. This is what I'm getting.
So you're dedicated to getting the Spider-Man black outfit. Yeah.
The black
Which,
suit
of course,
Spider-Man.
is where did he get that black outfit, Larry? During Secret Wars.
Yeah, from outer space.
When Mike L and I were talking Secret Wars earlier. Yep.
Yeah. I had Secret Wars 1. I have that one. That book
came out in 1984, 12-issue limited series.
Yeah, I only got
Wars
one.
2 came out. Yeah.
Secret Wars 2, I remember that too, yeah.
Secret Wars was great because they took all the superheroes and all the supervillains and they put them on an alien planet, and an alien named the Beyonder just wanted them to fight, and he just watched. But it was great because you got to see all the guys, and all the heroes interact, and they'll fight the other supervillains, and then Doctor Doom rises up and takes out the Beyonder fella, and it's a great story. Yeah.
And just so you know that right before the show, I called that Mike L guy just to check the phone number, make sure it worked and everything, and he said that for sure Superman would be.
Oh,
yeah,
I forgot about. I had it written down too to ask him, and I forgot. We just ran out of time. It was going too quick.
Yeah, but that's what he said.
That's the whole reason I wanted to get him on the show, is to ask him for Superman. Yeah, sorry, I'll send him an email.
Another question I wanted to ask, since you're the comic book expert, does the Hulk talk? Because he actually says something in the Avengers.
Yeah, well, it depends on what Hulk you're talking about as well. There's various different Hulks. Not always one Hulk, but there are different incarnations of Hulk. Like, when he was, the original Hulk was gray, you know.
Right, yeah, gray.
And then then they used green. The only reason he was gray in the beginning was because that was the simplest way to color him back in the day. But then they made him green. And then later on, when I was talking to Mike about that Wolverine Hulk issue, I think 340, where McFarlane drew it and Wolverine's fighting Hulk, back then Hulk was gray. And back then he could be cut and bleed and stuff. And he was smart and he could talk. And then the green Hulk usually just grunts, and every once in a while he'll say a word. But and then there's the Red Hulk as well. I'm not too familiar with the Red Hulk as much.
Yeah, I've seen the Red Hulk action figure.
Now back in the day, in I think late 80s, early 90s, the Gray Hulk, he actually worked as a bouncer in Las Vegas for a while. Remember that? Yeah, as part of the storylines, he was like working in Vegas.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But like the Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of David Banner in the movie, he's kind of shy and timid and socially awkward a little bit. Like maybe, he's not used to being around people or whatever. He's not like when Bill Bixby played him, he wasn't like as smart, and he seemed more of a dick.
Well, did they call him David Banner in the movie, or is he Bruce Banner?
He was David Banner, I think.
In the movie, because on the TV show he's David Banner, but in the comics he's Bruce Banner. But when they made the TV show, they didn't want to use Bruce because they thought it sounded too homosexual.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a joke. Yeah, 1970s, Bruce? They thought it was too gay. Bruce Banner.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think of that? Did you notice that he was kind of like a timid?
Yeah, I thought Ruffalo's portrayal, it was the perfect. Like when I first heard he was going to be Hulk, I was like, who's this guy? I don't think he looks like David. But I think he played it perfectly. Like he's jittery, anxious, and he's holding in his anger all the time. And he's shy, He just wants to be left alone, basically.
Yeah, basically. He wants to be left alone more than anything. He's like me.
Yeah. Except, when he gets mad, he punches things and can destroy city. You get mad, you I don't know, eat and drink and go to sleep. That's
you know what? You always take shots at me. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
But so what you really like now is, do you think the Avengers are the best superhero movie there is?
I still like Spider-Man 2 better.
But Spider-Man 2, they just ripped off Superman 2.
I don't care.
Yeah, well, see, I do.
Well, I don't. I mean, the Avengers, it was good. Like I said, if the Hulk's not in it, it's not that great. At that point,
the Hulk is in it. You can't say that. The Hulk is in it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, he's like the one shining star of that movie, because it's always.
I think Downey was pretty damn special.
He was good, but I mean, that's the same shit you always get from him, though. It wasn't anything new.
But yeah, it's still very good though. Him and Gwyneth Paltrow, they had a couple great scenes in that movie.
Yeah.
And Mark Ruffalo, he does indeed play Bruce Banner in the movie. He's Bruce Banner.
That's what I said.
No, you said he's David Banner. He's Bruce Banner.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. We'll play it back.
Never say that.
Yeah. So, but no, I still haven't seen Thor or Captain America. I gotta watch those, I guess.
Yeah, Captain America was lame.
But you
really
liked him in Avengers, though, right?
Yeah, well, because at least in the Avengers they gave him a little bit of a personality and stuff. He's terrible in that. He's so boring. I'm telling you.
I thought they had a nice dynamic between him and Iron Man, and
Yeah, I thought Iron Man was but at the same time, is he really going to be cracking jokes?
Who, Iron Man or?
Yeah, no, Thor.
Well, Thor didn't crack that many jokes.
Yeah, but he still cracked a joke.
Oh, well,
I forget what the hell he said, but you're supposed to be a god, no? Aren't you above all that? Like, why are you giggling? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of god giggles?
Well, you got to tell me the moment he giggled, because I can't recall that. But
I don't know. Somebody said something, and he laughed to himself about it.
He tittered.
He tittered, yeah.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Avengers, go do so immediately.
Yeah, I went by myself, Mike. That was great.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Did you sit in the back?
I sat in the way back, yeah.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anybody. There was only about 8, 9, 10 people in the theater, and they were all sitting closer to the screen. So, it was almost like I was there by myself. It was just awesome.
What previews did they show ahead of time?
I saw, Batman, Spider-Man, G.I. Joe, Retaliation. I saw that, and I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because they're pushing that back. It's not coming out for another year. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out in the summer, right? But now they're pushing it back to 2013 because they said they're going to make it in 3D.
I guess. It looks good, though.
So would you watch another 3D movie? Would you pay the extra $3 again?
Yeah, I would go. It would depend on the movie. I mean, Spider-Man for sure, because it seems like the way they, the way they kind of filmed this with him, with the way he kind of flies through the air and everything, I think it would play well into the 3D.
And when you were watching the 3D film, at any moment did you feel something was coming off the screen at you?
No, never.
Yeah, see, I never did either. Yeah.
No, it was more of a depth perception feeling. It kind of felt like
I describe it as you're basically looking through a Viewmaster for the whole movie.
Yeah, I liked it though. It was just I didn't like. It wasn't a distraction at all for me, because I remember you kept saying, "Oh, I keep seeing I keep seeing the glasses out of the corner of my eye. I keep seeing the glasses."
Yeah, and I was always aware that they were shooting this shot was composed in this way just to give you the foreground, the midground, and the background.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes they did force the 3D in there, wedge it in.
So I found that distracting.
But yeah, not enough to not enough to take away from anything though.
Yeah.
So,
all right, what else? Any other movies this week, Larry?
No.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other movies. All right, let's go to TV. Mad Men.
Drinking, smoking, Mad Men, Mad Men, Mad Men, Mad Men.
What'd you think of the finale?
It was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was a little underwhelming. I think it was solid, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it an 8. I think.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special, but Old Dawn shows up at the end.
Oh, that final shot is tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. Like the whole scene where what the hell's her name? Megan's on the set and they're the makeup's touching her and he's like kind of walking away and she's in the background, like kind of symbolic of that she's behind him now. Like that's over. And then he's
made her a success and now she's moving on. Just like
he's moving on too. Yeah.
Yeah, but he had that conversation with Peggy in the movie theater where, he says that's what happens. You make people success and they move on. And she says, isn't that what you want, them to be happy?
Yeah.
And then he goes back and he watches the video, the film of Megan, and he says, yeah, she needs to do this. And so he made her a success, and now he's moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. And then, there he was at the bar. Tom catting it up again, Mike, though.
Good times ahead.
Yeah.
How do you think next season opens?
Well, he's single for sure, I would think, and I don't know.
Is he single officially, or I think they're still married when it opens, but she's off somewhere, acting.
Yeah, but Mad Men always seems to jump ahead a year or two.
Yeah, I know. I think they'll jump ahead, but I still think they'll legally be married, but just living separately.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it'll.
Right.
I think she'll be done. She'll go on to bigger and better things and what have you. And what about Roger Sterling banging out the old mother-in-law?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that mother-in-law. I'm a big fan.
Really? Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I think it's just the French,
I don't like the French accent at all.
Tremendous. But, Sterling drops the LSD again all by himself. He doesn't need a babysitter. He can do it on his own.
He's naked. We saw Sterling's ass.
Yeah, because at the beginning, you see brief nudity, and you're like, oh, nice, Joan. I'm pulling for Joan here. It's gonna be great. No, it's Roger's ass. Yeah.
I was wondering. I thought it was going to be that broad Pete Campbell was banging out.
Yeah, we get to see like some side boob for
side boob. Yeah,
that's about it. But what about Pete? his love forgets him. She gets the electric shock. She forgets who he even is.
Yeah.
Then he goes home. Oh, he gets punched. He gets beat up again. That's always nice to see Pete Campbell get beat up. Yeah. So then he goes home, and his wife says, you're right. You got to get that apartment. So basically, all the garbage he went through, but he got what he wanted in the end.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't have anyone. He wanted that apartment to bang that Gilmore girl, and now she's gone. But so now he's just going to be sinking into depravity. He's going to be banging everything that moves.
Old Pete Campbell's back.
Well, new old Pete Campbell.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. Good times. Yeah, I'm surprised they showed Peggy again. I didn't think we'd see her again until next season. But and when she saw Dawn, she didn't even mention Lane, which I thought was odd.
Yeah.
So like she didn't hear about Lane yet, or otherwise that's a mistake. I think. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this: who's that Adam dude? Is that his brother?
Yeah, that's his brother that hung himself. Yeah.
All right. I don't
really.
Yeah,
so if you didn't know that, you must have been very confused.
No, because I thought it was, but then I didn't. Did he hang himself on the show, or was it just infer, they just referenced it at some point?
No, he hung himself. They talk about season 2, I think, right? Or season.
It's been so long. I haven't watched that. I haven't watched those original episodes in forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was early in season 2. But, so he hung himself. But that's Dawn. That's a toothache. Dawn's guilt from his brother hanging himself. Now he's guilty about Lane hanging himself. He's blaming himself. That's the toothache. And then he gets the tooth extracted. And he's like, I'm free to be myself again. Metaphors, Larry. Metaphors.
I don't pick up on those at all.
Yeah.
I really don't.
But what else in that episode happened? With Joan. Joan looked good again.
That scene where they run out the floor above them and they're all kind of standing in front of the window, you see them from behind. That's a great shot right there, beautifully shot right there. I like that. All the partners looking out the window. Yeah,
it was a good series or a good season. It went by quick. Yeah,
it did. Yeah, started slow.
I want to go back and watch the first couple again because maybe I was too harsh of a critic. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were that good, but maybe I was missing something.
Yeah, exactly. I have them all on the DVR.
Yeah, have to give them a whirl. Now, Hell's Kitchen. You still watching the Hell's Kitchen?
Fire! Yeah, I'm still watching it, but
I didn't see yesterday's. I saw Monday's.
Yeah.
So I'm one behind. But again, it's the same crap all the time.
Yeah, it's the same crap. Yeah.
But it's familiar, comfortable crap, so we watch it.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope to burn in hell.
What's that about?
That's that Barbie girl. She looks
I
like
don't
Samuel L. Jackson. So every time I see her, I just
yeah, you told me that the other day, and I didn't. But then when I looked at her, I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I will
Like
strike
around the nose,
down upon thee. Yeah, I just see Samuel L. Jackson in her.
Yeah.
She's definitely a plant of some kind.
What do you mean?
Like hired by the producers to just come
You
in
think?
and be an asshole. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, definitely. Like, hey, if we bring you on the show, we need you to just be a bitch. All right, I can do that.
And Chef Ramsay will never kick you out because he wants the conflict. So,
I think he wants the ratings, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly
they kept
right.
that Elise girl around last year for so long.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Keep
that's how
around.
TV works. It's all a scam. Who's
Right.
paying the bills, Mike Dell? Who's paying the bills?
It's a whole big scam.
Yeah, it's all about the commercials.
You told me your buddy Storage Wars, you found video proof that they rig it, right?
Yeah, well, Bernie said, our buddy Burns said that there's some video out there that shows some sort, but I don't even care anymore about that show. I don't watch it
I haven't
anymore.
watched Storage Wars. Yeah, it passed. I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Got nothing. Veep on HBO. Veep ended the season. They had only 8
Veep.
episodes.
Huh.
Again, if you haven't watched Veep, do so immediately. It's very good.
Have you been watching Pawn Stars? Cajun Pawn Stars as well,
No.
Mike Dell, which is much better than regular Pawn Stars.
I tried watching Cajun Pawn Stars once, and it was terrible.
It's not terrible. It's great. And, yeah, they're in a new season right now, so they got new episodes of Cajun Pawn Stars. Way better than regular Pawn Stars. That guy doesn't laugh at all his terrible jokes.
And, well, what else, Larry? What else is on the TV?
Well, I'm watching Scott Pilgrim right now. Yeah, but
I guess True Blood started up again, replacing Game of Thrones on Sunday nights. But again, I tried watching True Blood before, and I watched like 10 minutes of this most recent episode. It's just silly. I don't know. It's just I don't like it.
I've seen like 10 minutes of it when we used to have HBO, and I was like, it's not for me. I'm not into that vampire love story bullshit kind of thing.
I know our buddy Cousin Brandon said well, I don't know if he still watches it, but he used to watch it. And he said he likes it being campy and goofy. I just think it's...
He also drinks a lot of wine.
Yeah.
So.
Brandon likes the wine. Yeah.
He's a fucking lady.
Yes, I don't know. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah, we done?
We still got 10 minutes.
Yeah, we don't really, though.
You gotta fill it out. You know? Think of the kids.
What are we doing next week? Don't we have somebody coming on? I forget.
Oh, yeah, our buddy Lee Camp. And I forgot to upload another Moment of Clarity. So.
Oh, yeah, Lee Camp. Did we play that one last week?
Yeah, we did at the end of the show.
All
We'll
right.
play the same one at the end of the show again.
Again?
Well, whatever. Play whatever. But, yeah, I forgot to upload the other one, and I was going to...
Way to go. Too much
Yeah, well,
Marvel
Lee Camp.
Avengers.
He's a nice comedian. He does a lot of political stuff, so we'll get into...
Like, why is he coming on specifically?
Because I asked him to.
I know, but I mean, what are we talking to him about? Politics? Because I'm not really...
Yeah, politics, and he's a big... like, if you like George Carlin and Bill Hicks, Lee Camp's the same genre.
What about... He's the same as George Carlin?
Same genre. Like, he tackles social issues in his comedy. You understand?
You think he would talk about, like, them R-rated comic books with me?
Yeah, I think he would, actually. Yeah.
Huh, all right. Well, maybe we could do something with him then, I guess.
Well, Larry, seriously, what R-rated comic books do you have right now?
I don't have any.
Oh,
I'm saying they make them.
Yeah, sure they do. Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah. And would you happen to know titles for some of these R-rated comic books?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. You sure?
There's a lot of Asian girls on them, though. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's fill out the final 10 minutes talking more comic book memories. You used to go to a comic book store a lot?
Yeah, Phantom of the Attic.
Yeah, that's right, Phantom of the Attic. In Edie's in Pittsburgh, and then I went there occasionally, only like 2 or 3 times in my life. Phantom of the Attic I went a couple times. Then there's one in Murraysville, Larry, right by your house in Export. Well, what was that one called? Shoot.
What?
Jim Ivino and I used to go there back in the day.
I don't even know.
Do you remember where that Ferry's grocery store was?
Yeah.
It was like in that same shopping plaza. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I
we
don't know.
used to go down there all the time.
Oh,
yeah.
you talking about the record store place?
Yeah, I think it was a record store in Columbus.
Infinity Records?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I used to go there. The guy was named Alvin. He had, like, long hair, kind of like a hippie guy.
Sure. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So, wow, we were in the same place before we even knew each other, probably, huh?
See, like, when I used to work at, like, Shop and Save, which was in that plaza eventually, but, like, I became friendly with that guy, so I would just, like, he would just bag my comics for me. Like, he'd board them and bag them and already have them, you know, like, so I would just go in and he'd be like, yeah, it's going to be $12. I'd just give him $12 and boom, they were already done for me. He'd already separated up.
Boarded and bagged.
Yeah.
Boarded and bagged. Yeah.
Yeah,
rookies just put them in the bag. Now, you got to put a board in there, too.
Yeah, got to.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been there. Yeah, comic books.
Yeah.
Good times.
Pretty good. Yeah.
And G.I. Joe.
But,
yeah, back in the day, like, I could go to the grocery store and get the comics there. That's where I got a lot of my comics.
Yeah, that's when I was a kid, there's a little grocery store down by my house called Shaller's Bakery. It's still there, but I used to get my comic books there. I'd go down and get a comic book all the time.
They used to have those, like, them stand-up racks that spun.
Yeah. Well, they still have those at the Giant Eagle I go to in Greensburg. But like I said, each comic book's like $3.75, $4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like why would you want to?
I don't think the grocery stores where I go, I don't think they sell comics anymore.
Check the Giant Eagle. Check the area where they sell paperback books at your Giant Eagle.
Yeah.
Look in that same section because I write the paperback books.
All right.
Yeah, so.
I'll have to check out a Spider-Man. Yeah.
Why don't we make a comic book?
I don't think so.
The Adventures of Larry.
Can we have nude girls in it?
Yeah, it can be R-rated.
All right. I mean, I'll do that, I guess. Do I have to do anything?
Well, you could inspire the adventures. You could give me some storylines you'd like to see, and I'll write them and draw them up and stuff.
What about masturbating to internet porn?
Yeah, I really don't want to draw that.
Yeah, well, hey, that's the kind of things that goes on over here.
If you were a superhero, Larry, what power would you like to possess?
Lightning fast mood swings.
You already got that.
Yeah. Really bendy thumb.
I already have that.
All right.
And, yeah, apparently my thumb is still freaking people out on the Facebook. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's about 100 feet long is the problem.
But our buddy Eric Fry just saw it again the other day, and he's like, that's out of control. Yeah. And Fry was there when it got busted, so he remembers.
I think I was there.
Yeah, you were there too, yeah.
Yeah. It was gross.
And then Brandon was taken aback by it. He just saw it for the first time as well.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah,
he was quite, I think, disgusted with it, to be honest with you.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's gross.
Because everyone always says they like to fly. Like, that's the big thing. Oh, I'd like to fly.
Nah. I don't know if I want to fly. I'd like to shoot webs out of my wrist.
Webs out of your wrists.
Yeah, because, then I could fly. Like, I'm moving just as well, and plus I could save people if they fall and stuff.
But you would also need the super strength,
Why?
Well, because Spider-Man's super strong. Without the super strength, you're just shooting web, and what are you going to do? You need
I
to
know,
be
but I
strong
could still,
yeah.
I could play pranks on people and shit with the web.
Play pranks on people.
And
but
like
you
if
wouldn't be able
a
to
baby
swing building to building unless you also had super strength. Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, well, I guess I could walk over though. Like I could make like a web cane.
Yes.
And then just, like cane myself over there.
Yeah, hobble your way over.
Yeah, like
I like the whole Wolverine healing factor thing. That's a nice power to just heal.
Yeah.
But again, if you don't have the adamantium skeleton like he has, which isn't a mutant power, it's a man-made thing, then that healing factor isn't really as good because you'd always be getting so injured all the time. You'd be doing nothing but healing.
Yeah.
Like his bones are unbreakable, so that helps.
That does help.
Yeah. Because like my thumb, I'd still be healing it.
Oh yeah. That thumb will never heal. You could be all the Wolverines in the world. That thumb's gonna be fucked up.
But what about Colossus? Like you can just big guy made out of metal. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but would you want to be made out of metal? Like how bad would the winters be?
Yeah, that's true. And I guess you couldn't really sit around the house. Like, you'd have to get all new furniture. Like, you'd probably crush every chair in your house.
That's true, too. And, like, what do you eat? What do superheroes eat? They don't talk about that too much.
Well, in the Avengers, they did.
Oh, do they? Oh,
well,
yeah, at
the
very end of the movie, they were eating.
Yeah, they're all eating lunch. Yeah.
It seemed like they were all having some sort of club sandwich.
But, like Mr. Fantastic, he'd be all stretchy.
That would be good, especially with the ladies.
That's right. The ladies would love you, Larry.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's not a bad idea.
Of course, if you're a girl, you can be invisible. You can go wherever you want, you know?
Yeah, but I don't really want to go anywhere.
Huh.
That bendy thing, though, might work out for me. Yeah. All right.
Lots to think about. Yeah, I guess we're done.
All right. Well, we got to thank Mike L.
Yeah, our buddy Mike L. And his real name is like Mike Poirier or Poirier. I should have asked him how to say it because once again, I don't know how Canadians pronounce their names. Remember our buddy Joe. I was like, oh, Peltier. He's like, no, it's Pelche. So I don't know. So maybe he pronounces it Poirier or Poirier. I don't know. But just call him Mike L.
Yeah, Mike L.
Mike L.
Mike L.
Yes.
Mike L. And where can we find him? Comic Book Syndicate, Mike L. At
comicbooksyndicate.com, and on the Twitters, it's just at Comic Syndicate.
Oh,
and I like to retweet their stuff whenever I see it, so I just look for mine at Michael Paul Dell, and of course Larry is at I Love Sean Leahy.
Yeah. I'm thinking of changing that to I Love Scott Pilgrim, though, maybe.
Yeah, you do. And do you even know the guy who created Scott Pilgrim?
No.
Yeah, Mike mentioned his name, but you weren't even paying attention.
Edgar Wright?
I think that is right. Yeah, very good. I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, the LCS Hockey Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, the Kickstarter.
Please donate some money.
You hit the wall, Mike. Though.
Kickstarter.com, LCS. Go look at LCSHockey.com. You'll find a link. My Twitters, my Facebook, and we'll have a new article up there. It's probably today, or not today, or tomorrow, or the next day, and that'll be a great read. Yeah.
And don't forget stats. I love stats.
Yeah.
And shout out to Larry, right? You said yes.
Yeah. Because Larry, there is no off position on the Genius Switch.
And what about a Doug Harvey reference?
No, there's probably not going to be a Doug Harvey reference in this one.
All right. Well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Yeah. Next week, hopefully Lee Camp will be here, and we'll talk politics and all sorts of
nonsense. If Lee Camp doesn't show up, what do you say we bag it next week?
Larry, you can't bag the show every other week. You know, you need a commitment.
When's the last time we bagged the show?
Like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. So that's like once this year we bagged the show. So sorry.
No, we've bagged the show a lot this year. When? I'd say we bagged at least 4 shows. Yeah, it's June. Yeah. That's 26 That's probably not a good average. Why do you think Ed's number one? Because he always does his show. I know, but I don't know why he's number one. I haven't figured it out yet. All right. All right. We'll be back next Wednesday, same time and all that shit. So we'll be back and then pass the gin, Governor.
Somebody's awfully quiet back there.
I'm not going to call him Dad.
Brennan, you're 39 years old. I would not expect you to call him Dad.
Well, I'm not going to, ever. Even if there's a fire. Robert better not get in my face. Because I'll drop that motherfucker.
Jesus, Brennan.
Thank you very much.